Vanakkam, this is Heart to Heart with Ungal RP. The topic for the day is the greatest prison. In Tamil cinema, there is a famous movie by the name Nature. Not the one acted by Sivakarthikeyan, but by the legendary K. Balachandar and Nagesh. There is a lovely song in the movie that goes as Adathaathu ambujatha paarthela ava attukarar konjirada ketela. The character in this song refers to their neighbor with jealousy, saying, "Did you look at her? Did you look at her husband showering love and affection and lots of gifts on her?" She also says that they always fight and make up, but always makes up with a silk sari as a gift. Now, while this seemed to be a fun song with interesting lyrics, I want to shift the focus to their neighbor, Mrs. Ambujam. Mrs. Ambujam obviously might be aware that people were jealous of her. Yet, she didn't hide the fact that her husband showers love and gifts on her. In a sense, she didn't bother about what others would think of her and went on with her life. A virtue that most of us lack. Not to worry about what others think. The moment we start thinking about what others will think of us, that is the greatest prison we live in. Easier said than done is not to worry about what others think of us. But why do we worry so much about what others think of us? This is because we want to be seen as good person in their eyes. And we also want to be in their good books to develop and maintain relationship. Sometimes this is beneficial, yes, by keeping us on the right path. But sometimes we tend to lose our natural self because we want to be the way others would want us to be. Now this causes a lot of stress, anxiety and needless worry. The need of being accepted by others is so great that we are willing to lose our self-respect and even ourselves. We are imbibed to be that way. It's probably in our DNA. Facebook and Instagram are examples of such spaces. We upload our best looking pics and wait to see likes and comments from people. We do a small good act, take pics and post them on FB. Do we do the small good deed for an internal satisfaction, or do we do it to be perceived as a good person by the society? But why do we have to worry so much about what others think of us? You're the one who's living the life and not them. So they don't get to decide. Besides that, one size doesn't fit all. What works for one may not work for others. It is you're the one who's living the life and you know the various aspects of it better than anyone else. When you decide for yourself, success or failure, you're solely responsible. People are so busy with their lives, they don't worry as much as we assume. Simple reasons, right? But powerful ones. Not to worry too much about what others think. There are 4 considerations that you must worry about. 1. Is what you're doing good for you? 2. Is it good for your family and your loved ones? 3. Does it affect anyone negatively? 4. Is it right according to your conscience? If the answers are convincing for all of these 4 questions, then you need to just continue with what you're doing and not to worry about what others would think of you. ஒரு குட்டி story சொல்றேன். I know this friend of mine who's very cautious about what others think and how he's perceived by them. He has been embarrassed and been source of jokes couple of times because of this. Let me give you a small example. He was at the railway station in the waiting hall. And he was the only single young chap that day amidst a lot of middle-aged and old folks. Naturally, because of his young demeanor and restless nature, he kept walking around the waiting hall. Slowly, he realized that people started noticing him. Now, when he realized that, he did the following in a span of few minutes. He offered his bottle of water to someone in need. And then he used his comb to make a fan work by giving the blades a gentle push. He picked up some trash from the ground and put them in the dustbin. He then took his English novel and tried to pretend as if he was reading. After a couple of minutes, he casually looked around to see if he was still being observed by people around him. And to his shock, no one was actually observing him. In fact, people were lost in their own world. People were busy with their own lives. In reality, people don't bother about others' lives. They actually keep moving on with theirs. They don't have so much time to keep looking at what others are doing. Now, while you keep thinking of the times that you have lived in the greatest prison, thinking of what others would be thinking of you, I'm signing off. This is Ungal RP, Heart to Heart.